And well, now that we're back to the MSQ, time to every purpose. While others look forward to the impending royal banquet, Manfilia cannot help but look to the past. Though recent events weigh heavy on our minds, we must needs set them aside for now. We are come to a defining moment in Eorzean history. The grand commemoration of our joint defense of Ishgard. The first time in 15 long years that our people have stood side by side with their neighbors to the north to fight in common cause. This may mark the true rebirth of the Eorzean Alliance. Failing that, it should, at the very least, serve to bring our nations closer together. We have every reason to raise our voice in celebration, do we not? We have bested Dravanians and Ascians both. Against desperate odds, we have fought and won. But the Primals still plague us, and the Empire still plots our subjugation. And our triumphs, remarkable though they are, were bought at a terrible price. Brave adventurers and allies broken on the steps of faith, and before our eyes in this very room, our dear friend Moonbreda. This is the victory we have wrought, and it is bitter ashes in my mouth. I would sooner stay here and invite those with more appetite to enjoy the feast in my stead. Alas, it is a royal banquet, and all of our allies will be in attendance. It is our duty to present a unified front, and that we might serve as a beacon of hope to all. Since I have no choice but to take my own advice. I instructed the others to meet us in Ulda that we might make our grand entrance together. Unfortunately, I had to settle for leaving Taru and Lamina a note if they do not return quickly. They will have to settle for whatever leftovers I can smuggle out of the fragrant chamber. Off to the big soiree. Raise a glass for me, eh? Or not. You don't look best pleased. Something on your mind? By the Navigator Wilbur's dead? Goddamn, they must know they've been rumbled. I mean, or sought it. 'Tis the past time we had this talk. After our last conversation, I got to think about where certain funds were coming from. So I had to dig round on the quiet lake, and sure enough, I found it. Seems a bit of coins made its way into the Braves' coffers courtesy of a Dodo Consortium. A daft name for a business if ever I heard one, which is what first gave me an inkling that something weren't right. So I went through the ledgers again and found another half dozen donations from organizations with stupid bloody names. Didn't long to find the common thread, all were owned by the Mirage Trust. Oh, I'll give the bastards credit. He showed us for the amateurs we are, short calling one of his business the bloody bribery consortium. I don't know what more he could have done to mock our rules on financial contributions. The gods only know how many men of the first and third are taken to Legi's coin, but now we know as some of them are. I'd wager my right eye they're the ones that did for Will Red. The earnest young fool had taken for asking the wrong kind of questions, bound to attract attention he was. Should have seen it at the time, but I didn't, gods damns me. Still, I don't see why Teleji hopes to accomplish. He hid his scheme with all the care of a drunk pissing into the wind. No, he's cleverer than this, so he'd need to be cleverer too. That's the only way we'll ever repay this debt of blood. We'll purge every one of them traitors bastards from ranks, on that you have my word. And always remind yourself when you're in old age, we're heading into a storm. I can smell it. The kind that'll sweep a man overboard and drag him under before he knows it. Or why am I doing this? I could fast travel there through the Aethernet a lot better. We've been waiting for you. The celebration is due to begin shortly. I'd hoped that we might make our introductions together, but Mistress Momodi just sent word that you are needed at the quicksand. A hero must go wherever she's needed, and according to Manfili, you're needed elsewhere. We will go on ahead. Pray join us once matters at the quicksand are resolved. Give my regards to Momodi and let her know that I will call upon her anon. Ran past where I wanted to go. Momodi! I appreciate you dropping in on such short notice, Lucian. I know you've got places to be, so I won't waste your time. You're friends with a Crystal Brave by the name of Elaine, aren't you? Former adventurer, come to think of it. I'm pretty sure you recruited her yourself. Well, anyway, she came around for a meal not long ago. And before she left, she asked me to give you a message. Said if the others end up dragging you to the feast, obviously you got it before you made your grand entrance. Meet me at the station west of the Coffer and Coffer. There's something I must show you. A short message I'll grant you, but she thought it long and hard before picking those words. Barely touched her food, too. Under other circumstances, I'd have thought those signs of troubled heart. But someone tells me she ain't planning to ask your thoughts on Gentleman Caller. No, she probably isn't. Well, let's go see what's up. Continue waiting. Strain your ears to listen. You hear the chatter of a quern and the buzzing of substance, but no approaching footfalls. Lucian, is that you? What brings you out this way? Lieutenant Elaine, why no, I haven't seen her about. Had she come this way, I guarantee we would have crossed paths. I must have passed this spot a dozen times. We're to patrol the city's environs on account of the royal banquet. Captain's orders, you understand. Speaking of which, isn't it about to begin? You should be with the other honored guests, enjoying your well-deserved respite. I pray return to Olda, Illusion. If I chance to meet the lieutenant, I'll tell her where you were. Or you were here. Something real fishy going on here. Real fishy. I don't like it.
Tree, hallowed spirit of my line. Through my weakness, the glorious house of Ool has all but disappeared beneath the sands. For want of the strength to raise it up again, it were better that it fall. Forgive me, but I know not what else to do.
Ran past where I needed to turn. I reckoned you'd head straight to the feast after meeting with Elaine. What's the matter? No appetite? So, she wasn't there, but this was. Let's see. It looks to me like an alchemist vial, but beyond that, I can't say. Might be best if you hold on to it for safekeeping, though. Anyway, no use worrying about Elaine. I'm sure she'll turn up before too long, and when she does, we'll soon find out what this was all in aid of. Besides, you've got more important things to think about. Judging by Modi's grin, your star could not rise any higher. Would you believe that while you were away, another message arrived for you? Well, one did. One delivered by the Sultana's handmaiden, no less. Seems her grace desires a private audience. Her handmaiden will meet you on the royal promenade and escort you to the Sultana's chambers. So what are you waiting for? Go on then, go!
You needn't trouble yourself so. Your Grace is most kind, but it is no trouble to me, rather an honor. If your Grace is ready, I shall summon the Warrior of Light. I am.
Fancy.
Everyone looks to be in high spirits.
With good cause.
A common victory may serve to unite even the most unlikely of allies. You've brought us one step closer to a united Eorzea.
Your modesty knows no bounds, antecedent. Were it not for your efforts, Sir Emmerich would never have become such a steadfast ally. When he convinces his countrymen to rejoin the Alliance, we shall all reap the benefits, military and economic. I tell you, we are on the cusp of a new era of unity and prosperity. Territorial disputes are all that divide us now. But I have faith that we will find an amicable solution in time. And failing that, I'll have my trusty Warrior of Light box the ears of all concerned. Speaking of whom...
She will be joining us shortly. A matter at the quicksand required her attention, but it did not sound serious.
I don't know. It's suspicious enough that I'd take it more seriously than what everyone else seems to be doing. But that's just my thoughts. Thank you for coming. Her Grace is most eager to speak with you. If you require a moment to compose yourself before your audience, you may have it. Or if you are ready, it would be my honor to escort you to Her Grace's chambers forthwith. Yeah, let's go.
Enter. Your Grace, your guest has arrived. Pray, come in, and take your ease.
"'Tis well that the steps of faith held against the Horde.
And what of the city proper?
We sustained some few losses, but the heart of our nation yet beats with vigor. I am not certain I could say the same had we not received your most generous aid.
An attack on Ishgard is an attack on the realm. We stand together or fall divided.
Such noble words after the fact.
I had hoped to speak in the presence of Her Grace, but it seems she has been delayed. That being the case, now would seem as good a time as any. Honored friends, pray allow me to convey Ishgard's warmest gratitude for your part in the defense of our lands. 'Tis upon the success of this very alliance that my recommendation to throw open the gates of judgment shall be founded. With the blessing of the Archbishop, it is my hope that Ishgard will soon be reunited with her long-estranged sister nations, and that Eorzea shall once more be as one.
Very well.
Is aught amiss?
Nothing to worry about. I shall return anon. You wished a word, Yu Hase?
I don't know, look at those dead eyes. Something's up.
You may go. Your Grace. You must be curious as to the reason for this private audience. The matter I would discuss, however, will soon make apparent the need for discretion. I intend to abdicate the throne and dissolve the monarchy.
Well, that's a thing.
You have seen for yourself the storm of turmoil that howls through our streets. The government fails in its responsibilities, and my subjects suffer the consequences of our incompetence. But I will see them suffer no longer. The victory feast shall provide the stage on which I declare the dissolution of the Sultanate. 'Tis mine intent that the ruling class of our golden city should take its place beside the common man in a fair and equitable republic. No more shall this nation bow to the whims of a privileged few.
Lofty goals.
Yet, that which I propose will entail the tearing up of this city's very foundations. And even Reborn, with all his strength and influence, will be hard-pressed to keep his footing on such treacherous ground. Thus would I ask you to lend him a steadying hand. You who have endured the wrath of innumerable foes are the one hero in whom I can place my trust. Will you do this thing for me?
Would certainly try.
I am truly grateful. Much of my dread for the coming days has been quieted.
Oh shit. They poisoned the wine.
Your Grace!
They're about to try and arrest us, aren't they?
The Sultana is dead. Poison in her wine? You did this!
That's a hasty accusation.
Spare us your denials. I see no other suspects, and the room has but the one entrance.
The lady in waiting back by the entrance?
I hereby accuse you of regicide. Men, arrest this viper.
Sir, barring a few exceptions, we have detained all those with allegiance to the Scions. The Rising Stones is also under our control.
Assholes.
And what do you hope to achieve with this mutiny?
Why, that which we have striven for all along, Commander. The salvation of Eorzea.
It sounds more like you're selling us out. But that's just my thoughts on the matter.
What is the meaning of this?
Knights from the homeland. This cannot bode well.
Lord Commander, we have received an urgent message from the Holy See. I am grieved to report that your serpentine foes have resumed their assault. Needless to say, your presence is urgently required. These knights have come to bear you swiftly home to Ishgard.
A surprise attack?
We've had no such word from our men, and the timing is most fortuitous to catch us away from the city.
Most fortuitous indeed.
Lord Commander, we must away.
You have been a most gracious host. I hope that I might one day return the favor. Come, Lucia.
Wow, the fight down the bottom corner is, it's not going the greatest.
Whatever is going on in there? Ah, the ever-dutiful brass blades. I must apologize, but my dance card is rather full. Another time, perhaps?
Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. You stand accused of committing acts of espionage in service to the Garlean Empire.
Really?
Espionage? What in the seven hells are you talking about? Ah, if you're referring to that business with the Ultima weapon, then you must understand, I wasn't myself.
Under interrogation, an Imperial prisoner revealed your involvement in numerous dealings with the enemy. We've also been investigating reports that you are a practitioner of forbidden arts. You'd best come along with us.
Uh-huh.
You invite me to your party and now you want me to leave? I do so detest receiving mixed signals. Come then. I believe I've lost my appetite for this farce of a celebration.
Well, then you will be arrested.
You go too far, Lord Adeleji. By what right do you march armed soldiers into a royal banquet and eject state visitors without her grace's consent? You treat the brass blades as your personal army and show contempt for the throne with your every act. Leave us, now.
Is that an order, General? Mayhap you have mistaken me for one of your flames. You will find I am not so slavishly obedient. And you lecture me on personal armies. As for your outrageous claim that I have shown contempt for the throne, let all here observe that it was not I who feasted while an assassin removed its occupant. I expect this is your idea of defending the nation, is it? This and diluting our forces through these distractions in Cartano and Kurthis. I do begin to see how the ranks of the immortal flames came to be riddled with Garlean sympathizers. You are plainly unfit for command.
Wait, gods damn you. Your words make no sense. What assassin?
You mean to say you don't know? We caught the vaunted champion of the Scions in her grace's private chambers, not moments after the deed was done.
No! No, this cannot be!
Save your breath. You will need it to plead your case. You and your entire order are to be tried for this atrocity. Bring in the prisoner!
This woman stands accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamu ul Namo and is suspected accessories to the crime. All members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn will be detained for questioning.
This is madness!
What a pity. Who'd have thought your tale would end like this?
Should you demand further proof, a vial with traces of the substance used to poison her grace was found upon the assassin's person.
How very convenient.
Yes, because that'd be the file that we found out by the train tracks.
You would speak of convenience? Who persuaded her grace to host this celebration? A diversion which presented you and your confederates ample opportunity to commit the crime, and a crowd within which to fade from view. A more convenient occasion I could scarcely imagine.
How dare you! After all we have done for Uldar!
Hold your tongue, witch! I'll not be ensorcelled! I know all about the dark gift that you and your disciples wield. Oh, yes. I've observed how you worked upon the minds of the Alliance leaders, bending them to your will. And what of your cordial relationship with Sir Emmerich? For years, Ishgard abjured all contact with the outside world, and now the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights treats you with the familiarity of a childhood friend. I'll tell you what I think. I I think this desperate defense of Ishgard was but a ruse to deceive us into dividing our forces. Your next move will be to charm your Kurthan allies into invading our lands. Now that is truly ridiculous.
How do you even think of this stuff?
She cannot be dead. Stand aside, Ilbert. I want to see the Sultana.
Spare yourself the pain, brother. I saw her with my own eyes. For a mercy, the poison took her swiftly. Her handmaiden can attest to that.
This cannot be. Nanamo. Nanamo. No!
Plainly, the Royalists can no longer be relied upon to keep our nation safe. And so it falls to the monitorists of the Syndicate to govern Uldar. But should you wish to help us, General, we would be more than happy to entrust the task of planning Her Grace's funeral to you. It seems only right that you should bury your precious Sultana, and we will be glad to be rid of that burden.
I'll bet you will. You more than any man.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean you had her killed, you black-hearted bastard!
He's not
What
wrong.
rot! Though I did have sufficient motive, 'tis true. That young lady caused me no end of grief. She always was a most unwilling puppet. I dare say Her Grace was grateful that someone thought to cut her strings.
You would mock her, then mock her from hell!
What?
He got what he deserved.
Have you lost your mind, General? It is forbidden to draw steel in the royal chambers, much less slaughter our fellow Syndicate members. You're one of them. You've been in league with the Scions all along.
You're next, you scheming bastard!
Oh, Reborn!
Seven hells!
Admiral, we must leave.
How unlike you, old friend. I did not expect to take your arm so easily.
Take the Scions into custody. They have conspired to commit regicide. And arrest this traitor as well.
Ilbert, I hope you choke on their coin.
'Tis better than the dirt I've supped on these long years. We can't all abandon Alamigo and become great war heroes as you have. You are not the man you once were, Reborn. Since that girl strapped the yoke around your neck, you've become docile. She took the mad bull and cut off his balls, and a bull that cannot rot is fit for naught but slaughter. Shall I tell you who really killed your precious Sultana? It was me.
You die!
Some sword swings. Jesus Christ, he just kicked that and was like...
I never doubted you, not for a moment. But there is more to this than I yet understand. Flee this place. Clear your names. Find out who is behind this plot. It is the only way. Now go!
Ah, there you are.
Thancred, where have you been?
Dancing!
Avoiding the fumbling advances of some very persistent admirers. When I realized the celebrations had turned sour, it seemed prudent to slip away and take stock of the situation. 'Twould appear that much of the city is already under tight guard. It occurs to me that expanding the Brass Blade's authority may not have been such a wonderful idea after all.
The success of this plan was contingent upon those thugs having the run of the place. Just how long has this scheme been in motion?
A
Careful
while.
preparations, the maneuvering of forces. I am inclined to agree with the General's insistence that a deeper plot exists here.
So, would I be right in thinking we now have an excuse to pummel as many brass blades as we like?
I'd say you're free to go.
Unless you plan on pummeling them all, I'm not sure that will greatly aid our cause.
The Sultana's assassination was but one part of the scheme. We too were its targets. And though we did not share poor Nanamo's fate, we are yet hobbled by the charges laid at our door. Where now might we seek refuge?
Where indeed, we may safely assume that our foe is thought to have the Rising Stones watched.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but our choice of destination will matter little if we cannot secure an escape route out of Ulda. Happily, I believe I can provide one. Papa Shan once told me about the passages hidden in the walls of the palace. If I recall correctly, the fireplace in Nanamo's chambers conceals the entrance to a tunnel. It should lead outside the city and allow us to avoid any messy confrontations.
Sounds like a plan.
The rest of you go on ahead. I'll handle this lot.
By yourself? I suppose I shall just have to join you.
Crystal Braves too, huh? Now this should be interesting.
Ida! Papa Limo!
We will hold our pursuers here. Hurry, now! Find this tunnel of Thancreds.
But I don't want to go. I want to fight.
Minfilia, we cannot linger.
He has a point.
Now look what you've done.
Ida, are you all right? There are just too many of them.
I'm fine. I could do this all day. How about you?
Nearing the end of my tether.
This is so stupid. We're the scions of the Seventh Dawn, the ones who stand between this realm and the evil that's trying to destroy it.
And if you think we'll leave the stewardship of Eorzea to the likes of your masters, then you're sorely mistaken.
Sorry I dragged you into this, Papalymo.
'Tis hardly the first time, and I'll be damned if it will be the last.
Here, go berserk. Break all the things.
Let them have it, Ida.
I was hoping you'd say that.
I never knew such a watercourse existed beneath Uldar.
The architecture is of the Sildine style, if I'm not mistaken. The ancients plainly foresaw the need for a ready means of escape.
This way!
Well, that didn't take long. It seems these tunnels were not as secret as I'd hoped.
You two, go on ahead. Thancred and I will deal with this.
What do you mean to do?
Only that which is required to ensure that the dawn's light survive to brighten the morrow.
Fear not, antecedent. You haven't seen the last of these fair features.
My friends.
Leave us!
What is the plan, milady? Shall I take the dozen on the left and you the dozen on the right? The odds are not exactly stacked in our favor.
Numbers will count for little when I bring the tunnel down upon their heads. Though I cannot say I relish the thought of being entombed with you for all eternity.
You wound me. I will have you know that many a maid would kill for the chance to spend forever at my side. Now, may I have the last dance?
That was good banter right there. That was some damn good banter there.
Well, this is going splendidly. Now would be a good time, milady!
'Tis done.
Forgive me, Mitra.
Farewell, Nymphelia.
Hydaelyn, she speaks to me. No. I must remain behind, but you cannot stay with me. Please, you must go on. You are the warrior of light. You are hope for the Scions and for all the realm. As
I
you
clicked one too many
must
times.
escape and save Eorzea from those who would plunge it into darkness. Tis the only way.
I am glad to see you safe, my friend. What of the others?
No such luck,
Damn
unfortunately.
that man! Teleji played me for a fool! I thought the Crystal Brave's mine till the very moment I felt the blade at my back.
There will be ample time for soul-searching later. For now, we must put some arms between us and Ul'dah.
Well, would you look who it is? Need a ride? I doubt it'll be half as exciting as the last trip we took. Not if I have anything to say about it anyway.
Let's not dawdle, eh? All aboard! I was stocking up on supplies over in Vesper Bay, you see, when your sister come up and begged a favour. Said her brother was having some trouble down in Uldar, and likely needed a helping hand getting away. Thinking them ruins would make a fine hiding place, I decided to try there first. And lo and behold, there you were. Aye, and judging by them soldiers as were pouring out of the city, I arrived not a moment too soon. Ha! Must have been fate that we happened to find you there, though, eh?
I had thought to look out for Alize, but would appear she was the one watching over me. I've made such a mess of things.
Well, you'll have that. Sometimes you have to make a mess of things.
And who might you be, young sir?
Pippin Taropin, Vice Marshal of the Immortal Flames. I had been on the Alamegan front these past few moons, but an urgent communication called me back to Uldar. Scarce had my boots touched the cobbles, though, when the streets erupted with cries of assassination. I immediately went in search of answers, and came across Master Alfino here. Needless to say, I did not think his imprisonment justified.
Good that you thought that.
The blame plainly lies with the Monitarists. Their greed and corruption are well known to me, but for them to take advantage of the situation with such alacrity...
They engineered the entire thing.
Was that Pippin, you said? Ain't that the name of General Aldin's lad?
Yes, I am his son. Adopted, of course. 'Twas only as we were leaving Uldar that I learned of father's fate. Once I have seen you a safe distance away, I mean to return to the city and extricate him from this madness.
Then you needn't travel no further than Blackbrush. Our fugitives have a friend waiting for them there.
I dreamed of bringing about Eorzea's salvation. 'Twas I who needed saving.
Well, we're alive, which means we can still do what we thought we were going to do, or wanted to do. We just gotta do some rebuilding, some replanning, some retooling, but we can do it. Them soldiers will keep searching for a while yet. Reckon we'll take the carriage back towards Ulda and get the lay of the land. Maybe provide a distraction if need be. You three wait here. Help will be along shortly. Stay strong, friends. Real fights to come. Alright, let's go. The most unassuming folk can prove to be our greatest allies. That fellow was but a passing merchant, yet he lent us aid without a moment's hesitation, or any hint of concern for his own safety. Though I can well imagine how a man could feel inspired to risk all in your presence. Father spoke often of you, Illusion, and long have I looked forward to our first meeting. Needless to say, this is not at all how I envisioned it. Master Alphino, you must not give in to despair. That would only play into our enemy's hands. So long as you and Illusion are free, we may still set things right. Forgive me, Marshal Terrapin, but Alphino, my boy, sorry to keep you waiting. Sid, what are you doing here? Pulling out of the fire as usual. Your merchant friend told me everything. Truly, then he is no merchant but an angel in peddler's clothing. But tell us, how do you intend to bear our friends to safety? I hid the Enterprise but a short distance away. All I need is a destination. We must find a place beyond the reach of both the Monoterrorists and the Crystal Braves. Corthus, this guard will not suffer the intrusion of foreign forces in their territory. Then that settles it with me, everyone. Not I fear. I must remain here. I dare not abandon Ulda to the Monoterrorists and their cronies. You may be certain that they will seek to defame you, both here and in the other city-states, but know that I shall do my utmost to thwart their every effort. Frankly, I do not expect it to be much of a challenge. The small folk will not turn so easily on the Warrior of Light and her allies, no matter what the Monoterrorists claim. Marshal Terrapin, I know not what to say. Now that Father would labor to believe, but enough talk. You must go. Alphino, your airship awaits. Up, up, there's no rest for the righteous. Once I finish up the last of the ARR campaign, we'll find someone to raid and raid them. We should make for Camp Dragonhead and speak with Lord Hodgefront. Mayhap he will know what to do. But I don't remember that ending here at all. But apparently, I guess it does. Master Evan told me your tale, Illusion. It warms my heart that you should turn to me before all others, and I shall endeavor to deserve your trust. Alas, the situation has grown more complicated in your absence. It would be best if I explained in full. Before the dawn. In times of trouble, there are few things more precious than unconditional support.
There has been word from the capital. Ishgard has weathered another assault, and 'tis said several wyverns broke through into the city proper. The temple knights succeeded in slaying the beasts, but the intrusion prompted orders to further strengthen the guard and to place the city under a perpetual state of alert. How keenly we feel the loss of our wards at the gates of judgment. Yet we must not bemoan our misfortune. Sir Emmerich is safely returned from Ul'dah, and once more leads the defense of Ishgard. As for the matter of your asylum, I am afraid no progress will be made until the threat to our nation is diminished. But do not despair. You are not without allies. You are more than welcome to shelter here for as long as you wish. Pray, think of it as a new headquarters of sorts. The falling snows, or some such. All frivolity aside, any who come here in search of you will receive no aid from House Forton. For once, the Ishgardian reputation for inhospitality shall work in our favor. Agents of Ul'dah will find their every inquiry dismissed, and their every request for entry rebuffed, until such time as their masters have acknowledged your innocence. You once fought to preserve the honor of my dear friend. 'Tis a blessing that I may now repay that debt in kind. But let us dwell no more on this. Pray, join the rest of your companions. 'Tis bitterly cold this day. I suspect there are those who might welcome the warmth your presence brings.
Greetings, madame. Shall I show you inside? Yeah. Oh. Alpha, no illusion. Is it really you? Yeah, it's really me. I'm so happy that you are. I tried contacting Manphilly and the others, but no one would respond. And then the Crystal Brazier, our own people, turned on us in the marketplace. Told me to run, and so I did. I ran and I ran until my lungs burned and my feet ached, but I lost my way, and then... Fortunately, I observed some of the Braves behaving suspiciously beforehand. Ah, yes, my mask. It was lost in the struggle. Pretty, isn't she? Anyway, after Yugiri found me, we traveled to Vesper Bay and met up with the Orange. When we told him what had happened, he used his magics to weave a glamour around the waking sands. From the outside, our old headquarters now looks like an abandoned storehouse. The transformation didn't take long either. Apparently, Orange started making preparations after the Imperial attack, just in case the Empire ever chose to pay us another visit. Good thinking, eh? Sorry, where was I? Oh yes, so we waited there at the Waking Sands hoping others would come, but no one else did. My people started searching for the other Scions even as we speak, but we have met with no success as yet. I'd hoped that you might be able to suggest further places to look. Ah, but you should know, the Rising Stones did not share the Waking Sands' good fortune. Only Crystal Braves await you there. Be that as it may, we yet have cause to hope, do we not? If the two of you escaped, it is not impossible that the others could have done so as well. You may have been forsaken by men and women we believe true, but rest assured that the people of Doma yet stand with you. We welcome this opportunity to repair our debts and shall continue our efforts to locate the others and see the Scions restored to their rightful place of honor.
"'Tis all my doing. I believed myself the only one who truly understood Eorzea's woes, and look what that arrogance has wrought. I gave commands, influenced governments with my certainty. I treated the Crystal Braves and even the Scions themselves as pawns in my great scheme to save the realm. But in my headlong rush into imagined glory, I paid no heed to the ground upon which I trod. The salvation of Eorzea. What was it that I hoped to achieve? Did I believe that I could rid the realm of every danger and difficulty? That I could defeat the Empire and the Ascians, and find homes for every refugee? Oh, yes. I was so very clever. Become a guardian of Eorzea, I implored, and sat back to watch my perfect army cleanse the land of chaos. 'Twas all but a means to feed my own vanity. Only when all is lost do I finally realize the truth.
Oh, Alfino.
So, Master Alfino, are you content to remain a broken blade? Is there no flame hot enough to reforge you? What of the fine companions who yet stand at your side? I dare say the fires of their determination will soon have you slicing the air again with your customary wit.
I hardly deserve such friendship. And besides, where are we to go?
Alfino, if I may? Should this place not serve our purpose, then we shall go to Ishgard. Minfilia told me many times, as long as we stand fast against despair, the beacon of hope will never be lost to sight. Be it in the snow or in the clouds, we few will see that the dawn's light shines again.
Oh,
You are
don't
right,
cry.
Titania. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words, Lord Orshfon. 'Tis true that Eorzea yet has her guardians. The Scions have achieved much, and 'twould be remiss of me to discard it all in a fit of self-pity. Let us then resume our journey, together, one step at a time.
Now I just gotta wait for the credits to finish. So that's gonna take a while. I will be right back.
Shining is the land's light of justice. Ever flows the
Okay, I'm back. Got a lot accomplished. At least I feel like we got a lot accomplished. Right now, it's like the Square Enix is being so weird with my things. It's just like, apparently my next billing date is the 12th, but it's like my subscription is on the 11th. It's like, that sounds odd. Well, that didn't work out as well for the Steelers as I was hoping, but the idea I had was sound. It just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Just gotta hit the buttons here. Ah. So much credits. Oh, there we go. Finally got through the credits. Well, maybe not. I was thinking maybe we had, but apparently not. I finally finished up the A Realm Reborn story. Just woke up.
All has been arranged as you desired, my lord.
Still trying to get your sleep schedule in order? Or have you finally gotten that fixed? Oh, it's super messed up again. Well, I mean, again, that implies that you had it fixed at least at one point. Nabrels is no more. The order was not his to invoke. His demise was of his own making. Nevertheless, it concerns me they have extinguished that which should rightly be eternal. Mayhap he was not wholly mistaken. Greater haste may be warranted. We are of one mind. The northern lands, then. The earth is fertile and the seeds well sown. By my will they shall reap of salvation unlike the world has known. By his will. But welcome to the waking world, welcome to the channel. I have answered thy summons, emissary. Speak in thine intent known. I'd speak of fate, Archon, yours, mine, the fate of this very star.
Thou thinkest sanctuary lieth beyond. Delusion, despair, death. Thou shalt find naught else here.
I don't know, it makes me think of the big speaking thing for the flood from Halo. way Midgard Stormer just spoke. To preserve the dawn's light, the heroes journeyed north. Their hearts filled with hope and eyes fixed heavensward. And that's where we will start again tomorrow. Or, well, not tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm not quite sure what we'll be playing tomorrow, but it won't be this. We'll be playing something else. But in a couple days, we'll come back and we'll do more of this. Try and get caught up with the story and everything else, and maybe eventually get moved. So that maybe one day we can get moved over to my main character. Because we'll have all the story and all the quests and everything shown off on stream and video all at that point. But let's take a look and see who's out there to raid. Also, just as a reminder, I know I do believe I spoke about this at the beginning of the stream, but we do have some new goals. I extended the community goal because, well, it didn't even get near completion, but people had thrown points at it, so. But I basically halved the sub goals, and hopefully, I'm really wanting to hit the goal for the Pokemon, but we'll see. But let's take a look and see who's out there to raid. Raid. It's been a long night. We've been at this for 4.5 hours now. And I need some food. I'm hungry. Let's see here. Let's raid Beauregard. He was kind enough to stop by the stream yesterday. We'll return the favor. When we move over, go ahead and copy and paste this into chat. Thank you all for joining. I hope to see you guys again tomorrow night. It's always good to have you guys come by and talk and all that. But till then, have a wonderful rest of your evening.